Hello guys, welcome to today's video. I will be kind of introducing it in a second, but I just wanted to put a quick disclaimer in before the video starts. Firstly, I'm not kind of saying that I am a Sphynx expert. I've only owned Astrid for about 3 months, but I have been researching it into a year, but please always research before you get a pet. Also, if you enjoy this video, please feel free to subscribe to me. I'll be posting a lot of other videos on my pets. I also love tattoos and piercings and all wonderful things like that. And click the like, and any constructive criticism, please feel free to leave it in the comments below because I am learning. Woo! Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Please excuse my cat just cleaning like a blitz. I'm just gonna let her do that. Today what I'll be talking about is what it's actually like owning a Sphynx cat. The reason I wanted to do this video is because there's not loads of videos about owning a Sphynx cat, and a lot of them are really positive and kind of say the main things about them, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. But I think there are some things that people need to consider before owning a Sphynx cat, and I think that's really important to get across, that to make sure that people who get Sphynx cats are kind of 100% dedicated to them and their care. And I also wanted to talk about my personal experience and what I found, and some little tips and hints about their care as well. Okay, so the first thing I can say about Sphynx cats is that they are incredibly loving. So here is Astrid actually suckling my neck. She does this on a daily basis as much as she possibly can. The reason that they are so loving is because they are hairless, they seek you out for warmth, and also they actually happen just to be genuinely a very affectionate cat. I think they were voted the most affectionate cat of all the breeds. They are very, very, very sweet, but they do need you. They are very dependent creatures. They are not independent. If you work a lot or you're away a lot, or you have a busy active social life and you're never in, I would not recommend a Sphynx cat for you because they really, really love human company, and it's just not fair because if you are away a lot, they just feel kind of neglected. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind about Sphynx cats is that they are like little perfectionists. They are very, very clean cats. Most cats are clean, I think that's safe to say, but Sphynx cats are especially so. And because she's indoors, she has her own litter tray. I like to clean out her litter tray every time she uses it, so especially if she poops in it, obviously I get it straight away. But if she pees in it a lot and maybe I don't get to it in time, she will go and pee somewhere else because she's not impressed. So I replace all the litter in the litter tray probably about every 3 days. Oh, thanks Ruby. Probably about every 3 days. And this just makes sure that it is really, really clean for her. And literally as soon as I put down that litter tray and it is clean, she will go and use it. And it's like, thank you, human. I love clean litter tray. That's what she sounds like in my head. So definitely make sure you keep on top of litter tray cleaning. And remember, they are indoor cats, so they are not outdoor cats. So you have to have a litter tray if you want your house to be respectful and clean. Another thing, even if there's like food that's fallen out of food dish that's around the area, or like some water that's been spilled, she will look really fussy and she won't go and eat, and she'll what do? They kind of kick almost, they dig the water. I think it's like saying that they're done with it or something to do with with wild cats. So definitely their food station, their litter tray, their water station, all of that needs to be really clean. Not only from a normal hygiene point of view, but for them, because they won't eat, well at least I find Astrid won't eat if her food station is dirty. She doesn't drink water that's still anyway, which is why I've ordered her a cat fountain, and she will not go in her litter tray if it's been over 3 days. So she's very, very particular. I don't think all Sphynxes are like this, but I think they are more that way inclined. So, you know, if you get a Sphynx cat, it doesn't mean that after 3 days they're going to go and pee somewhere else, but it's just something that you need to keep in mind. And obviously it's a little bit more work than maybe a normal cat who can go outside. Okay, so another thing to actually remember is that Sphynx cats are incredibly playful. So this can be both a pro and a con. They are so playful that the fact that they will pounce on you, they will attack your feet, they might jump on your head, they'll run around like a lunatic and like knock things over, like Astrid's pulled her cat tree over before. So equally, if you kind of want a calm cat, then a Sphynx cat is not for you. But if you are happy to play with your cat and happy to enrich their lives, then a Sphynx cat is perfect. You can see in this video I'm playing with Astrid loads. This is literally what she's like every single time. She loves her little toys, but I would just say definitely invest in a cat tree and loads of cat toys and things that can generally enrich their lives from being indoor cats especially. Okay, and another thing to remember is that Sphynx cats are indoor cats only. The reason for this is because they are much more susceptible to things like sunburn. They also are obviously pedigree cats, so people are more likely to want to steal them because they're obviously not kind of your average moggy, and therefore high value, things like that. Another thing is obviously the normal stuff, so cars, being trapped somewhere, getting lost, or being eaten by coyotes, foxes, dogs, wherever you live, the animals in that area. They also are, like I said, very, very much people cats, so they are unlikely wanting to go outside. If they get lost, it could be really distressing. And another thing that is very applicable to them as a breed is because they have no fur and their body temperature is so much higher, they get cold really easily, and if they're trapped outside and it's really cold, they are much more susceptible to illness later on. And obviously it's just not nice thinking that your cat could be stuck outside and being really cold. So yeah, indoor cats only. Okay, and another important thing to remember about Sphynxes is that while it is a common kind of thought process to think that they must be easier to groom and maintain because they don't have any fur, actually I would argue that they are higher maintenance than a normal cat. And the reason for that is because they are hairless and they still produce oils like every other cat. And usually in a normal cat, these oils will get trapped in their fur and then they will groom them away. In Sphynx cats, the oils obviously don't really have anywhere to go, so they get settled on the skin. They then dry and they can become quite itchy and obviously smell a bit as well on the cat. So it's really important to bathe your Sphynxes if you really believe that they need it. I've heard some people do once a week, some people do once or twice a month, sometimes even longer. Astrid is raw fed, so doesn't really have much oily problems, but I do around 1 to 2 times a month. Another thing that I do and that most Sphynx owners do is clip their claws and clean out their ears. The reason for this is because the earwax can get stuck. Because they have bigger ears and they don't have any fur, the earwax grows and gets stuck, and it can become quite uncomfortable. That can also be itchy, cause them to itch their ears and then open up to infection. Another thing is you want to clip their claws because obviously their claws are long and sharp. This is more for other reasons. So for example, Astrid likes to play with my dogs, so I clip her claws just to make sure that they're a little bit more blunt, that they can't cause them any discomfort. You can see in this video I'm just probably mainly looking at her wrinkles, but at this point I'm kind of showing you that she is mostly all fuzz. She does have some hair around her face, ears and paws, but her whole body is just this kind of fuzzy loveliness, and it just feels absolutely lovely to touch. So it's like touching a hot peach, like a hot squidgy peach is how I would describe it. It's just absolutely lovely, and most people when they first touch a Sphynx they're like, oh my god, I didn't realize they feel like that. So yeah, here I'm just showing you how small she is. So Sphynxes are very petite. They are all the way from kittenhood to adulthood. My hands aren't like super massive, they are just normal human girl hands, and generally Sphynx cats are just smaller. Also being hairless, they always seek the warmth as well, so some people buy clothes for their Sphynx. It's just worth keeping in mind in case you would like to do that. On to what I use to actually keep Astrid nice and clean, and certainly in between her baths. How I clean her ears is with this lovely ear cleaner by Vet IQ. You can see it's alcohol free and non-toxic, and it helps to sustain ear hygiene and helps to soften and remove earwax. It has this lovely little nozzle that comes with it, with a kind of syringy type thing which you can syringe into their ears. It is about £9 to £10. You can see it's quite a nice big bottle, so it lasts you a really long time. I only use it once a week. I actually use it on my dogs as well, so I will go through it a little bit quicker. But if you're just using it on a cat, it will last you a really nice and long time. I pop a bit of this in her ears, I squirt it in. I then like kind of scratch her ears like this, like ooh. And then I leave that for a couple of minutes, and then I go and grab some cotton wool pads and then just clean out her ears that way. It's really nice and effective, and like I said, it's not too expensive. Then I've got these water wipes. These, you can get them in Boots, Superdrug, any kind of place where you can buy any kind of baby wipes, anything like that. The reason I like water wipes over baby wipes is, like I said before, they don't leave that kind of residue and they don't have any smell to them, and they literally are just made up of mostly water with a bit of fruit extract. I think they're about £3 or £4, but if I'm just using it on Astrid, it will last me for ages. I bought these absolutely ages ago and I'm only about halfway now, so they are great. Another thing about Sphynx cats is they like to step in their poop a lot, which is super annoying. So this just helps to clean that off. And then I always put a little bit of Baby Johnson shampoo, Johnson's baby shampoo in the sink with some hot water, and then I clean it off with that. But this at least gets kind of the immediate residue off, so she's not spreading poo all around my house. So yeah, I would definitely recommend both of these, and they are kind of a staple if you have a Sphynx cat. Okay, so onto the food that I use for Astrid. I really like giving her raw food. It's very, very healthy for cats. I raw feed my dogs as well. The reason I use raw food is because it's kind of the most natural way, and their digestive system is still very much up for digesting raw food. It's really good for their health, like digestive health point of view, because their poos are so much better. They poo much less, and it's all hard and firm and doesn't smell, which is obviously delightful. I got these from my local pet shop. I think they're about £2 a pack, £2-3 a pack. It does last me for quite a long time. But if you have a look at the ingredients, if it will focus. Oh, I don't know if that's focusing. Anyway, it's like mostly turkey mint, ground bone, heart, lots of other stuff in there as well, but it's all really healthy and natural. There's no grain, gluten or cereal, made of all natural ingredients, and obviously it's all kind of in a nice cat-sized chunk. So I do really like using this. She wouldn't necessarily eat this by itself. She's quite fussy, and I think because it's only got a little bit of salmon, it doesn't actually smell that like delicious to her. So what I do is I mix it with this, which is Nature's Menu kitten pouch. Now this is actually wet food. I didn't think I'd be using wet food at all when I first got her, but because she is quite fussy, I do have to kind of mix up because I worry about her not eating enough. Now Sphynxes, because of their metabolism, the fact that they need to keep warm because they have no fur, their kind of digestive system is so much more amped up. They have such a high metabolism, which means that they're hungry all the time. So I probably feed Astrid 4 to 5 times a day. I always make sure her bowl is nice and full, and she doesn't have dry food, so she kind of doesn't have a staple which she can go to. So that's why I feed her so much, and she's not overweight. She is the perfect weight, but I think one of the common mistakes of Sphynx cats is not feeding them enough, because you need to make sure that they are kind of filling up their metabolism. So you can kind of see on here, this is for kittens. I don't know if you can read this. I cannot read it from my camera, but basically it's just mostly protein, oils and fats. It's made up of chicken and broth, and that's literally it. I think there's more information in the pack, but again, it's no artificial flavors or anything. It's wheat and gluten free. It's natural ingredients, and mostly it's like 70% chicken, which is pretty good for wet food. I don't give her loads of it every time, but I do just give her it because it means that she'll eat all of this, which is great, and her poos are still great on it. So yeah, there you go. I think I've also used another one. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was Harrington's. That was more made up with gravy. That was really nice. She did like that, but she does like Nature's Menu as well. I think it's quite expensive. It works out almost £1 a pouch, but because I'm not using loads of it all the time, because I'm mixing it with this, it is a little bit more affordable. But yeah, I just like to give her kind of the most nutritious stuff. You don't have to with your Sphynx cat. You can give them kind of normal food. But in my personal opinion, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but if I'm kind of getting a pet, I want to make sure that I can afford the best stuff for them. And this is really the most nutritious that I can get her. And she really does look good. And I don't need to bath her that often. And her poos are really good. So that, to me, when I look at her, means that she is healthy and her digestive system's really good. So yeah, I would definitely recommend raw feeding, or maybe using something like Nature's Menu or the gluten-free foods. Try and stay away from dry food because I know it can cause kidney problems in the future. But again, this is just my opinion. It's your cat, it's completely your choice. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, obviously give me a thumbs up and give me a subscribe, because I post content, or I will be posting content similar to this, as well as, like I said, things like tattoos, piercings, food, clothes, hauls, things like that. So yeah, give me a little subscribe. If you have any kind of constructive criticism or questions or anything, pop them in the comments below. And obviously, if you have a Sphynx cat and you have your own tips and hints, please pop them in the comments, because I think it's really beneficial for people who are looking to own a Sphynx cat. Thank you so much for you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it, especially if you got all the way to the end. And I will see you all soon.